Damn, we didn't actually make a Q&A video, did we? This is Brett from Studio Hipsword once again, and on the last development vlog for the Siege of Jeomdo, we asked for your questions, and now we're going to answer them. Very late, but we're doing it. Now I know there haven't been so many updates on our Discord or YouTube as of late on the game, and the reason for that is that our lives have been really busy, like personally. Some of us on the team are moving house, some of us have been focused on our studies, there's a whole lot going on. So development has been a little slow, but hopefully to tide you over, we can answer some of these questions, and I hope it is satisfactory. Without further ado, let's begin the Q&A. Question number 1 comes from David V. Kimball, a wonderful friend of mine. I know him from working on Smack Studio. He has a new video about the development of Super Smash Bros. Melee, so definitely go and check that out. David asks, how do you set the visual style and tone for each project you work on? Is it a brainstorming session, or is there a lead that determines that direction? So I'd say mostly brainstorming. So at the beginning of a new project, basically the whole art team throws a whole bunch at the wall and sees what sticks. So we don't draw like mock-ups exactly, but more just sort of mood pieces to try and capture what the game could feel like, if that makes sense. It usually takes a few tries and a little bit of iteration, and there's a few things that we're looking for in an art style. We want it to look good and appealing in a way that represents our studio well. We need something that's actually achievable to create at a larger scale. And yeah, it needs to fit the game's identity, which is kind of a moving target that early in development, but we get there somehow in the end. Once we do have a defined art style, that's when me as the art lead and Sailor as the general producer kind of like vet any new art assets being drawn to make sure that everything looks consistent. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Question 2 comes from Gaysharks Melody. You should definitely check out her comic. I'm blanking on the name of the comic right now, but it is appearing on the screen. Do go there, it's really funny and has a good story and artwork. Melody asks, what led you to choose this type of game, as in a visual novel, and the setting? So to be honest, a visual novel is a little bit of a compromise from our original design vision for the Siege of Jeomdo. When we first came up with the game, the idea was for it to be like a strategy game, kind of like Battle Chasers or something like that, like a turn-based combat thing. When our old programmer Reese left the team, we thought, we better make this a bit smaller just to make sure that our new crew can actually get this done within a reasonable time frame. Luckily, our team does include big visual novel enjoyers. I grew up on like the Ace Attorney games, and our new programmer Heinrich is like super hardcore and knows like all the classic games. He wouldn't even consider Ace Attorney a real VN, but best I got. As for the setting, the point of that was to have an environment that is a bit different from what you see in most other game fiction. Like usually you'll see, you know, ninjas or military guys or space, and I don't think people go for a Korean vibe too often. Also, one of our big inspirations when coming up with the ideas for this game was The Admiral Roaring Currents, which is a Korean film, an epic war film, and we just kind of absorbed it. Question 3 comes from Eru, aka the Fart Spider. Why do my SpaghettiOs make lightning? So for the other questions, I like wrote notes for how I wanted to talk about it in the video. I've really got nothing for this. Like this tweet has been weighing on my mind since April, and I don't know. Some things I think humans aren't supposed to know. Finally, we have 2 questions from my friend Rachel. Question number 1 of the last questions is, what is the best part of making a video game? I would say the best part of making a video game is that rewarding feeling, that sense of shared achievement with your comrades when something finally comes together. Something coming together doesn't necessarily mean the whole game, or even like a demo version. Like it could just be something as small as like me being given feedback on a piece of art, me changing the art, and then seeing the art in the game. Just seeing things come together, watching our world come together piece by piece, is really nice. Game dev can be a bit of a slog at times, and so these little victories are the things that keep you going. And with that sort of segues into my answer to the other question, what is the worst part of making a video game? And that is that it is it's kind of a burden at times. There is so much to do. There's a never-ending mountain of things to do. And it's easy to feel a lot of pressure and responsibility for that, especially working in a team. And I've had to go to great lengths to try and keep myself grounded under that weight. But I think it's worth it. Life is like that. I think most things that are good in life take a concerted, regular effort for a long time. And it's important to remember that a big picture is made out of little pictures. So yeah, every little step gets you somewhere. Okay, I think that about wraps up the Q&A. I hope you enjoyed this video. The next vlog is probably going to be about our process creating a character. So if that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe. Oh, and wishlist The Siege of Jeomdo on Steam. Thanks. Catch you later.